Hello and welcome to this week's edition of Business Time. It is a magazine program where we bring you major business and economic news stories making headlines in the country. And my name is William Kumwembe. In the program today, we look at the possible impact of donor aid cut on Malawi's strides to become a middle-income economy. And also in the program, NBS Bank points mixed outlook for the remainder of the year as it reports 148% growth in its profit for 2024. We have these and other stories. Stay tuned.
Every structure begins as an idea, but it's the finishing touches that bring it to life. At Stevenson's Paints, we believe in finishes that do more than cover. They define. From concept to completion, our products support professionals and visionaries at every stage. Whether you're designing a home, building a business, or managing large-scale development, Stevens offers a paint solution tailored for your surface, environment, and standard of excellence. Each product in our range is engineered for lasting performance, precise application, and true color consistency. Tried, tested, trusted. We understand that quality paint isn't just about appearance, it's about protection, value, and long-term results. That's why tradespeople and industry leaders rely on Stevenson's Paints to get it right. The first time, every time.
Welcome, this is Business Time, and we start the program with our main story. What was launched with pomp in 2021 to propel Malawi's development seems to be facing serious drawbacks as the National Planning Commission hints that their vision is losing momentum. Malawians appear not to be immersed in the Malawi 2063 and take charge of their aspirations, it is observed. And now, with the declining aid that has been fueling development, the vision is once again heading towards a dead end. NPC's research manager Andrew Jamali told Umuntu Social Impact Forum in Lilongwe last week that Malawians at all levels seem not to understand what it would take to actualize the vision, realize the serious mindset issues that needs to change, a key enabler in the blueprint.
You see, our vision is a bold vision. If you look at one of the key statements in the very first pages of the vision, it says a commitment, a resolution that we want to become an industrialized upper middle income country by 2063, so that we can fund our own development by our own self. Now, that is not just a statement. What we need to do now is, Malawians, this is what we have designed as what we have resolved to do. The question is, are we doing it now? So we might have been so slow, but the melting down of aid now is pushing us into the space to start saying, how do we generate resources for our own development initiatives? So as a country, this is the kind of conversation that we need to have. Now we're talking about USAID freeze, they are gone. What becomes of the projects that have been supported by them, right? Maybe it's time to have conversation with development financing institutions in this country, apart from making sure that our economy is ticking and generating enough to support development initiatives. There is philanthropy that we can look at. Normally when we talk about philanthropy, we're looking at people that are so rich. No, there are people that we are supporting in the villages. That's philanthropy in itself. We can extend that in the context that we're working with. So when you look at the innovative financing for development, we are looking at these diaspora initiatives. The diaspora is sending lots of money in this country, organizing the space for them even to invest in the country. That's money for Malawians. So we're talking about making sure that we are also blending our finance approach to development programming. So the conversation that we are having today should not be just like a talk show like we always do, like you are interviewing me now. It should go into strategic networks and synergies about how we can forge local financing for development that can be doable. So Malawi 2063, if you look at the first 10-year implementation plan, we had done the models and convinced everyone that for Malawi to attain the lower middle income economy, that is a GDP per capita of 1036, meaning to say the money that should slip through your pocket at the end of any year should be $1,000, at least $1,000. We had put up a growth estimate of 6%. And true to what you're saying, we haven't been growing at 6%. The highest I think we have attained was somewhere around 3%, if not 2.9%. There are factors associated with that. The climate issues, our economy is agriculture-oriented, agriculture-based. Of course, now we have diversified. We've gone into mining, we are boosting up tourism. But these are baby steps towards economic diversification, which needs now to be strengthened. Because reliance on one strategic engagement like agriculture has proven to us that it's not safe enough to generate the much-needed growth that we're talking about. So one is the diversification of the economy, which we already are doing. The whole issue of making sure that mining is taking its steps. Malawi has identified huge mining potential, the reserves that we have, and now striking proper deals with potential investors is a step towards diversifying the economy for being agriculture based. The other thing is building our capacities. Now we have this bold vision to become an industrialized country, but look at our status of industrial capacity. Are we there? No. And that's why you have universities of science and technology like MUST. You have the Malawi University of Business and Applied Sciences going into innovations and technology development. Because without these innovations and technologies, it's going to be difficult to simplify the way we do things, much more to augment the capacity of manufacturing, agriculture production, and so on and so forth. So government is supporting programs that are actually aiming at leapfrogging our technology and innovation space. That's another thing. The other thing that we are doing as government is actually to promote kind of inclusivity in terms of perspectives on development. Our young people, you might have seen that a lot of our young people are graduating from universities, and a lot of them are looking forward to getting jobs. But the jobs are not there because the economy is not generating as much worth as possible so that people can invest. The banks are actually stretched, the lending rates are so high. So what do? We have to make sure that we make young people now to look at themselves introspectively as already capacitated for on wealth creation agenda. How do we do that? If someone comes out from the university, there was an organization that was presenting in this meeting. Yeah, they were talking about training young people into small-scale kind of businesses and entrepreneurship for 6 months, and then linking them to financing agencies. A lot of young people need to know about these existing opportunities. So the whole issue of making sure that young people are not just looking forward to be employed, but building their own capacities so that they can also do something that can sell out there and generate wealth and advance themselves in the economic space. That's also something that government is promoting through various kind of youth initiatives. And we are happy that Thrive Africa, together with its partners, have brought in all these entrepreneurs and business captains together to look into the demographics and see how potential Malawi has in terms of young people that are ready to engage in the productive spaces of the economy. But we must make sure that we open up the space for them. And part of it is bringing them this conversation. I haven't seen any young person in here. So that's another thing. We are leaving them behind while talking about them. So this is something that we must address. When we are talking about them, let's bring them together. And let them be part of the conversation so that they know what is available in the space for them.
NBS Bank's profit after tax for the year ended December 31st, 2024 went up by 148% to 73 billion kwacha from 29 billion kwacha the previous year. The performance was largely driven by strong growth in deposit customer loans and digital banking services. During the year under review, the bank's customer deposits grew by 35% from 539 billion kwacha to 727 billion kwacha, while the loan book grew by 53% to 235 billion kwacha. The bank's non-performing loans dropped from 4.9% to 4.7%. We have the whole story in this report by Benedetta Mia.
Speaking at a stakeholders engagement in Blantyre, NBS Chief Executive Officer Temwani Simwaka attributed the performance to improvements in the bank's operations, including an expanded digital footprint, improved credit controls, and strategic investment in core systems. While noting that the current environment poses economic risks, including high inflation, interest rates, and business costs, Simwaka said that the bank is well positioned to navigate the current economic challenges by focusing on sectors with growth potential.
We were communicating to the stakeholders, which include shareholders, investors, as well as customers, on the bank's performance for the year 2024. The bank did well. From a profit perspective, the bank grew from 29 billion to 72 billion, which is a 145% increase. But also the bank did well in terms of balance sheet growth, customer acquisitions, as well as all the other operations. So the bank performed very well in 2024. Looking at the Malawi economy, yes, the inflation is high, interest rates are high, the cost of doing business is also high. However, from the positive side of the economy, we are looking at opportunities in the agriculture sector and also opportunities in the agro-processing sector. And as the bank, we also did a major investment in terms of the core banking system and also the digital platforms. So with that, the bank is really set to drive the growth in the economy, but also to transact cheaper and easier and make it simpler for our customers. One of the key areas that we've also invested in is the digital loans for our for personal lending, especially to the salaried, which enables our customers to borrow in less than 5 minutes, so they don't have to come to the bank. So with that, our penetration now has moved all the way to Chitipa and Sanje, where we do not necessarily have a physical presence, but we can provide services to that market. So with that, we are really well positioned, both from a technology, from a people piece, from the capital position that we have. We are really well positioned to grow the size of the bank, but also to support strategic sectors like agriculture, both in terms of export, but also agriculture in terms of local consumption. Yes, let me start by saying that is a risk. Lending to government is a risk. Lending to corporates, even individuals, is a risk. Banking is about how to take a risk and how to mitigate that risk. So as a bank, we are open to supporting the government, but at the same time, you will see other banks, maybe they're putting in provisions on the book lent to the government. Us as NBS Bank, we believe in doing the other professional way, which is doing a capital reservation. So what we've done is internally to raise our capital limits to take advantage of not just risk of default by government, but risk of default by other people who borrow from the bank as well. At the end of the day, as a bank, our responsibility is to support both businesses, the individuals, as well as the government in delivering on the Malawi economy.
Investor and shareholder Benedicto Benankoma described the bank's trajectory as promising and urged further investment in small and medium enterprises and youth-led ventures.
My take is that the bank is really taking off. It's a great performance. As a shareholder, and indeed like another stakeholder, I see the future in this bank and that it will continue to grow and make a lot of strides. Share such concerns that indeed there is a lot of public debt which has crowded out the private sector. But when I listen to the strategies that they've put in place, they are very good strategies to diversify their revenues and to do a bit of risk management in terms of trying to do stress testing if something wrong would happen. In terms of foreign exchange, I like the strategy of investing in productive sectors that will bring in forex. Much as it may not happen immediately, but I think it's a very good journey that they've embarked on. The bank should continue to invest in small, medium enterprises. It should also consider empowering the youth because they're in majority. Malawi's median age is at 17.8, which means we are we've got a young population that may need a lot of capital. We have a lot of students that are coming out of college that may not get into the job market, I think it's time that the bank should start to invest, make a deliberate effort, put aside some money to invest in the young population. But the other thing is that the bank should continuously invest in the digital platforms. Gone are the days when people would queue in the banks. So investment in the digital platforms is very.
The Malawi Stock Exchange listed bank also recorded significant gains in its share price, climbing 51.5% from 114 kwacha in December 2023 to 174 kwacha by year end. By April 2025, their share price had risen further to 343 kwacha, a 97% increase since the close of 2024.
Remember, this is Business Time, a magazine program in which we bring you major business and economic news stories making headlines in the country. We'll be right back.
Every structure begins as an idea, but it's the finishing touches that bring it to life. At Stevenson's Paints, we believe in finishes that do more than cover. They define. From concept to completion, our products support professionals and visionaries at every stage. Whether you're designing a home, building a business, or managing large-scale development, Stevens offers a paint solution tailored for your surface, environment, and standard of excellence. Each product in our range is engineered for lasting performance, precise application, and true color consistency. Tried, tested, trusted. We understand that quality paint isn't just about appearance, it's about protection, value, and long-term results. That's why tradespeople and industry leaders rely on Stevenson's Paints to get it right. The first time, every time.
Welcome back. This is Business Time, a magazine program in which we bring you major business and economic news stories making headlines in the country. And moving on with the program. Malawi continues to be ranked poorly in terms of insurance penetration, trailing at the bottom of the ladder when compared to regional counterparts. Only 3 out of every 100 Malawians are on insurance, a development which is worrying according to insurance industry players. But what are the players doing about the situation? This is a question we posed to Wells Major, who is Vice President for the Insurance Association of Malawi.
We still have low penetration levels in Malawi. I think statistics show that we are below 2%. It's a problem even across this part of Africa, the SADC region. I think except maybe should be South Africa, probably above 10 or 7 thereabout. But within other the SADC countries, we are still below probably 2 or 3%. It's an issue that we can easily overcome. Part of the study that we are doing as Britain, and even most of the companies I know, is one way of trying to resolve those issues. I will give an example, because I think as a market, we have been working for quite a long time in isolation. We have been working in a cocoon, in silos, as an industry, as a sector. So one of the areas where we can easily grow our penetration is to partner, work in partnerships. So there are companies, there are sectors out there that are ready to work with us. For example, as an entity as Britain, we don't have to have a branch in Sanje to offer our solutions or our products. We don't have to have a branch in Chinji. So we can partner with the already existing financial institutions or institutions that are already in Chinji. Maybe they say the telcos, like maybe Airtel, or even the banks or these microfinancial institutions that are already occupying those spaces. We can partner with them and offer our solutions. If we do that, then you see that it's easier for us to attain the market penetration that we have been pushing. We have already tested it as Britain. You may recall a year ago, if not 2 years ago, we partnered with Airtel. We managed to reach out to over 50,000 customers. That product alone, it gave us over 50,000 customers. These are customers that we, Britain, wouldn't have managed to reach out to. And these are customers that are not just in the cities or the urban areas, in the rural areas, in the rural corners of Malawi. But because we used the partnership synergies, the strength of our partners, we managed to attain those levels. So if you push 1 or 2 solutions and 3, 4 companies did the same thing, then it's easier to go the penetration rate. That's just one example.
Now, In other business news, Reserve Bank of Malawi Governor McDonald Mafuta Mwale says informality is the biggest obstacle to the country's economic development. He has since called for urgent digitalization to formalize the economy. He said this at the 2025 International ICT Expo in Lilongwe last week. Kumwembe was there and filed this report.
Mwale says no country can develop with the level of informality currently existing in Malawi's economy. He emphasized that formalization through digitization is key to connecting with the digital economy, citing potential tax revenue increases of up to 40% through digitization.
The number one problem that I want to solve in this economy is informality. We are doing things informal. No country can go anywhere with the amount of informality in this economy. I have experienced this in my past position in government, Secretary to Treasury. I am experiencing it now. Malawians are just good at doing everything informal. We cannot go anywhere. How do I connect with the digital economy? It's formalization. Even the simple issues of tax revenues, if we can digitize, that tax revenue can even increase by 40%. You see a trader with a pause here, but agreeing with you and deciding, let's not use this one. Let's use this way. But this is technology. This is a modern year. In these modern times, we can't refuse technology. We can't refuse digital. That's my first message. We can manage to reduce informality of Malawi and grow as an economy and develop as a country if we formalize and digitize. You are the people.
ICTAM President Clarence Gama says the Expo serves as one of the most significant platforms where industry, government, development partners, academia and the public converge to shape a future-ready digital Malawi.
The ICT Association of Malawi is dedicated to playing a pivotal role in turning around our economy by working hand in hand with government and the private sector. We believe that together we can leverage technology to create new opportunities that can enhance productivity and also drive economic recovery. As you may know, the country has a digital economy strategy, and I just want to spend a bit of time to highlight the key pillars in the digital economy strategy. First of all, it talks about digital infrastructure. How do we ensure that all Malawians have access to reliable and affordable internet connectivity? The second pillar is digital skills and literacy, equipping our citizens with the necessary skills to thrive in this digital economy. This also involves integrating ICT education into the curriculum at all levels and providing training to the workforce. We also have the third one, which is digital financial services, promoting the use of digital financial services to enhance financial inclusion. Fourth is digital innovation and entrepreneurship, fostering a culture of innovation and supporting startups and entrepreneurs into the ICT sector. Digital government is one, which is the fifth one, enhancing the efficiency and transparency of government services through digital transformation. And finally, and my favorite, is cybersecurity, ensuring the security and resilience of our digital infrastructure. I always say the files that are stored in my office, the physical files, the printed files that are stored in my office under lock and key, could be safer sometimes than the files that are sitting on my computer. Because if the key is in my pocket, it's really hard for someone to break in and get those. But on my computer, this person doesn't even have to know me or know where I stay to break into my computer and steal my data. So cybersecurity needs to be underscored. So in summary, those are the 6 pillars of the digital economy strategy. Ladies and gentlemen, the ICT Association of Malawi is fully committed to working with the government to deliver on this digital economy. And together we can create a vibrant digital economy that benefits all Malawians.
The event was held under the theme Accelerating Malawi's Digital Economy, Innovation, Inclusion and Sustainable Growth, which directly aligns with the Malawi Digital Economy Strategy 2021 to 2026.
With that story, we've also come to the end of today's edition of the program Business Time, a magazine program in which we bring you major business and economic news stories making headlines in the country. On behalf of the entire production team, my name is William Kumwembe. Thank you for watching. Stay safe, but always remember, if it doesn't make money, then it doesn't make sense. Goodbye for now.